Well, I was just looking at your stats. You average more points against the bigger schools than the 3A schools. Just when you played the bigger schools, did you feel like you need to step up your game, or does it feel like more of a challenge for you to go against the bigger schools?
Yeah, of course it's more of a challenge. I just think, I didn't get to play as much when we played the 3A teams, kind of like blew them out a little bit. So I kind of sit out earlier than, usually. But, of course, when it's more competitive to me, I'm going to, try to bring my game up.
Josh's stats and his averages are actually better against the bigger schools. Just talk about the way he steps up and elevates his game playing a larger opponent.
Yeah, I think Josh likes a challenge, and if you're a great competitor and you're a great athlete, you want to be faced with challenges. And one of the things that we talk about a lot in our locker room is to be the best, you got to play the best. And there's something about playing really good competition that brings the best out of you, and that's true for him. He had big games. He had 39 points against Johnson, who wins the state championship here in the packed house that night. So I think it's a sign of a great competitor and a great player. Play your best when your best is needed, and he tends to do that.
Right.
Coach said you looked like a new player when you came back from the surgery. Did you feel that way?
Yes, sir. I felt that way. I just feel like I was a better leader. And I just, I was able to see things that I wasn't able to see while I was playing. I matured a whole lot more.
How much did having to sit out the playoffs last year motivate you coming back this season?
It motivated me a lot, just to see my other teammates, lose like that. To see Zach Gardner, pour his hat out like that because he wanted to win so bad. So it motivated me a lot.
What were you most proud of about this year's team?
We just stayed the course because any other team, if they had the record that we had, they would have kind of, veered off and just lost focus.
Let's talk about his perseverance this season, going through another injury, bouncing back, and just coming back strong.
Yeah, we had him for the first 6 games of the year, and then we lost him for 6 games, and he had a chance to, make a tough decision. He went ahead and had some surgery on his hand, and I think it was really interesting because he really grew a lot sitting in those 6 games and watching our team. And then I can remember the first practice back when he got cleared. He was like a different guy. He was so excited to be back on the floor. He had watched us struggle a little bit from the bench, and it burned him up. He wanted to be out there helping his team. And so when he had a chance to help his team, he really elevated his game. And at the second half of the season, after the Huntsville Times, we went 15-4, and a lot of it was his leadership. Not only was he scoring points, but he began to just kind of inspire the other guys and really push the other guys hard. And he was our best practice player. Practiced harder and as good as anybody on our team. And I think that's a sign of a great player.
So you have the awards, you have the state championships. For you, what'll motivate you going into your senior season?
I just think the awards and accolades, they shouldn't motivate you. The motivation comes from within. I believe that the outer things, it shouldn't determine how hard you play.
You've had a chance to see him since he was a middle schooler playing varsity. Just about his growth as a player.
Well, I've seen him grow so much emotionally. He's always been exceptional physically. I've never really had to teach him how to score. That's kind of instinctive for him, and he's continued to work on his game and make great moves. But I think the biggest difference I've seen in him as he's grown, not only matured, physically, but just to see him develop into a leader. And that's what the special players do, and I think he's got that. He's become the leader of the team. He's become the hardest worker in practice. He's become the guy that has rallied the guys and said, hey, let's go in a tough situation.